before I start today, I'd like to thank Dr. Greason and Monmouth University for having me here today. Dr. Greason and I go back quite a number of years, actually back to our university days. And he thought it would be worthwhile for me to come in and talk a little bit about my experiences in my career to this point, and a couple of things that were really worked for me, where college really prepared me for the larger world out there, and perhaps some places where it didn't. First thing I'm going to tell you is there's no magic formula. Everyone seems to think, back when I went to school, back in the days, everyone thought, hey, you had to be an accounting or a finance major in order to be successful and get into the top firms. Just as an idea of background and what I do, I am in the financial services industry. I work for Bank of America. I've been employed there for a number of years. I started out my career at Goldman Sachs many years ago. But what I've learned over the course of my 20-odd years in this business is that, as I said, there's no magic formula. Really, at no point in history has diversity been more important. And I'm just not talking about diversity, what we all think about. I'm talking about diversity of thought, opinion, and experience is much more valued today across the financial services industry, my area of expertise and experience. At no time in history, really, what firms are looking for nowadays are not necessarily people that understand or have a concept of financial concepts, but actually some diversity of thought. You don't need to be an accounting major, a finance major. You can be a history major, graphic arts, whatever you like, and actually a lot of firms out there are looking for that diversity of thought, that background, and really a fundamental understanding of how the world works, and really all of the technical concepts. Most firms you go to in financial services and beyond will teach all of that to you. They don't expect that you'll know and understand everything. And really there's a lot of that on-the-job training and growth within the firms. I'll tell you a little story about a couple things a couple experiences that have worked well, and where things have worked well for me. When I first started in the industry, I came out of a pretty decent school, and I started work at Goldman Sachs. And you know what I did all day? I faxed papers from here to there. I bet you mostly in the target audience don't even know what a fax is anymore. Yes, I faxed papers all day, and I was thinking, you know what? I didn't go to school for 4 years to learn how to fax papers. But in fact, what it taught me was the value of learning from something, a very simple concept from those faxes. I went on to emails, and I went on to other great things. But really, it's the idea of the willingness. I didn't necessarily have an education to teach me how to fax, but a willingness to do any job, to get in there and really show that you have that will and the way to get things done. I'll tell you another story of where I work today. A very important thing is an idea that will show that concept is we have a very big on a military intern program. And I tell you, many men and women who come out of the armed services do not have a financial services background. And you know what? It doesn't matter. What they do have is they have a strong willingness to learn, a drive. And you know what? Someone told me at work one time was that many of these folks, they've learned how to keep themselves safe throughout the day. The work that we're doing is not changing the world. And we had a military intern that really struggled with the concept of financial services for about a year, but really had that willingness, was willing to do anything to get the job done, and has really grown to become one of our best employees. And really, I would reflect that is that you don't need to have that background, that experience, but you need to have that strength and that willingness to forge ahead.